morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me get down the volume. Happy TGIF. It is Friday. Yes. Can you believe we made it all week? All week long. Good morning, London. It is so good to have you with me this morning. Hope you got your coffee, tea, water, whatever you're drinking. Today we're going to wrap up everything we done this week with writing. Yes. So, yesterday I had a pretty good day. Actually, this week has been really good for me. I've been working on the Snowflake Method, catching up on it. Um, I'm on step 7, creating my character Bible. It's really intense, but I'm getting to know my characters, and that's the most important thing next to your plot is to get to know your characters because they are the one who drive your story and pushes your plot forward. Good morning, writer Dozier. Good morning. It's so good to have y'all here. So, how y'all like my new coffee mug? Yes, but first coffee. Let me get a sip. Mm. It is good, 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 good. London says she is working on a good, yes, and that's what we're gonna continue today. I'm still working on my character template. After looking at other character sketches this week, I realized they don't really fit my characters for the cozy mystery, but I can use it for any other genre too. So once I get it all composed together, which is my goal today is to finish it, I'm gonna offer you the download link so you can get it and cater and alter it to your story. I'm using Google Docs. I really love Google Docs. I realize my Google Docs is just filling up with a lot of collection of my writing, which is good. And yesterday I gave you all a challenge to create your writing space, especially coming up for Nano. We all need our space. And since I can't go to Starbucks like I used to do, I decided to create my own little environment in my little cozy corner here at home. And I guess over the weekend, I'm going to dab into vlogging. So I get to show you my writing space. Yes, I am doing Nano. My name on Nano is Coffee Cozy, CoffyCozy. Befriend me. I hadn't started a cabin up. That was a lot of work. I did it last year. And it was a lot of work on top of writing your own stories. So I joined other people's cabins. I'm in Jen's cabin, which is what is a mystery cabin. I'm in two other cozy cabins. I'm in a Discord cozy cabin. And I thought about creating a Discord. I'm not sure. I don't want to keep adding more to my plate until I finish some of my goals I set for myself. So yeah, I'm in Nano this year. I hadn't decided exactly what I'm going to do. Yesterday, Big Boy was in here and he had multiple projects that he's working on for Nano. So I might adapt onto that because I thought I was going to put this here aside, this cozy mystery for this is my third draft. I want my fourth draft to be my final draft before I send it out to an editor so I can get it published for hopefully the beginning of next summer. I'm not going to say hopefully. That's my goal is to get it published next summer. And what else? Oh yeah, and I want to continue to work on my two haiku books. I want to do one for Valentine's Day, and I've been holding on to that for a while. It's called oh the Journey of Love haiku, and it's gonna go through two couples or a couple how you go through the process of love at first sight and just like you go through the grieving process, love is a process. And there's 7 stages I discovered in love from when you first meet each other till you go through all the infatuation and all the problems in between until you actually reach that unconditional love. So I'm writing a book on that. It's a book of haikus though. And also I'm doing Haiku with God, which is a book of gratitudes that I want to get out before December, but I might hold on to that and release it for the first of the year because 2020 was horrible, was an awful year. But there was a lot of blessings in between the chaos. So I want people to be able to appreciate those things that we took for granted for so many years, and some of us are still taking for granted. So if we just stop to smell the roses, cliche, we can appreciate these little things. So I'm composing that in a book, and I think it would be perfect to release it the 1st of January 2021. To, we can continue to hold on to those precious moments. Yeah. So I'm probably going to work on that too. And haikus are really simple for me to write. So I can do that within maybe the first 30 minutes of my writing session and then go into my cozy mystery. So yeah, that's my plans for oh, this is your first nano. You join me because I am going to host next week, in the middle of next week, I'm gonna spend the first 3 days with my husband. He's gonna be in town, so I won't be on live. But starting next week, the middle of next week on through the end of October, I'm going to test out a new time. I'm still going to be here in the mornings because early morning writing is my ideal time to write. And I might put a poll under the community on this here channel and ask you what's a good time because I want to figure out a good evening time, either somewhere before noon, afternoon, or late evening. And I'm leaning towards a late evening writing session like we do in the morning. So I will be hosting two, maybe not every day. The morning will be every day, but the late evening I hadn't decided yet. So yeah, I'm gonna be working on that. And in November, starting November the 1st, I will be on live every day. That's my goal. So I can encourage you to continue to push words forward. So you won't feel like, oh, you stuck, you want to quit midway there. No, you can't quit. One word is really important, even if it's just one word a day. One word, one sentence. And we're going to focus on that. We're going to go low, go high. So, anyway, enough of my talking. I'm glad to have you all here this morning. Got a lot of work to do, work on my character Bible, which I'm excited to do. I was able to narrow my characters down. And that is step 7 of the Snowflake Method. You may want to go back and look at the Snowflake Method playlist. Go to step 7. And one thing I learned yesterday is to write a list of all your characters first and then fill in your character profile. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on. So, let's do a 10-minute writing warm up. Yes, I'm going to have plenty more tips for you, okay? So, let's get started. And I guess in between each time, we're going to have more tips. So, my first tip is to review the Snowflake Method under the playlist. Now, let me warn you, it may not be for you, but there are some tips and golden nuggets, we call it, that you can pick up and apply to your own writing journey. The key is to find out what method works for you. So there may be some trial and error. I know when I first started Nano, I'm a pantser. I was a pantser. And I just wrote by the seat of my pants. I had an idea. I viewed it as a movie in my mind, so I can see everything acting out ahead of time. I'm also a dreamer, so my stories usually come to me in a dream. So when I wake up, I can just write it out. Not everybody can do that. So I would advise just to think of what you want to write about, whatever thoughts you have, whether it fits the story or not, write it down. The Snowflake Method, to me, is one of the best methods I could have ever applied, especially writing a cozy mystery because I needed to find a way to navigate through my story in comparison to my first draft. Now, your first draft, you really just want to get those thoughts out. Don't worry about organization or grammar or anything. The goal is to get it out of your head. And I'm not going to lie, when you go back to that first draft a month later, or 2 months later, you're going to feel so discouraged. I did because I thought it was horrible. I tried to read it, it was awful. I didn't even want to adapt this as my first draft because I had to get out of that perfectionist mode. We are not perfectionists, and that's one thing an author needs to do or a writer needs to accept. You're not perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. Even when you put that first book out, there may be one or two mistakes. Even your editor makes mistakes. So if you can overcome that, which is mental, you're gonna be successful with your writing. Because when I wrote my second draft during July, was it April? Yeah, April Camp Nano. I was happier. And then, was it the third? I must have wrote it in July. I felt like that was my best draft, and I wanted that to be my first draft, but it wasn't. It was my second draft. So, yeah, the first draft, you just focus on getting the story out of your head. And you got to keep that mind frame. You cannot lose that. You cannot think of perfection. Just get that word out of your head, because that was my problem. So, yeah, I'm going to be offering you all kinds of tips. So, yeah, look at some of those past videos. And if I can remember as we going on today, I'm going to be throwing them out there to you. So, let's get started. Think of an idea. Work on what you've been working on. And let's write. 10 minutes. Warm up. Okay, that completes our 10-minute writing warm up. Now we're going to move into a 30-minute writing session. Let me see another tip I can add you. If this is your first time doing Nano, Find you, like I said, a good time that you want to write. Either you're a morning writer or evening writer, you need to determine that your protective time, which means your time that you're dedicating to writing. Like, or what I do, I'm a morning writer, so I know I want to write every morning at 5 o'clock because it's quiet, it's silent. I don't have anything to do. The family is still asleep, and I have an hour dedicated to myself to write. Well, besides streaming, but I share that with you all. And once you determine your time that you want to write, I personally set me a word goal. Um, I didn't in the beginning of Nano, I would have 1,000 words. And now I'm up to 2,000 words, and my brain just stops. It probably can go on, but then I would just be writing words. So my brain stops at 2,000 words during my writing session. And one point I shared yesterday, if you have a goal, maybe 1,000 words a day, I think when Nano is like 1667, if I'm not mistaken, a day in order to get 50,000 words at the end of the month, you can take the word count and break it down to certain times during the day. Now, I'm really active with writing during the month of November. So if I feel like if I can't get the 2,000 words down in my morning session, I will break it down to 1,000 words in the morning and maybe 500 words after lunch and another 500 words in the late evening. So I break that down to 3 different times of the day. So you may want to try that. That will help you get your word count in. And like I said, with your first draft, you just want to write. Get those thoughts down. Not just any words, but just the thought, whether it makes sense to you or not, as long as it relates to your story, just get it out. So let's move on to our 30 minutes writing session now. Okay, that completes our first 30-minute writing session. There's a lot of things to the character sketch that I'm writing and incorporating. I'm trying to look at my life as how I go through the day from waking up and everything that I'm involved with, including social and interpersonal stuff, to incorporate into my characters, trying to make my characters be more real than just the surface with these questions. So let's see. Did I have another tip for you, London? Let's think. Another tip, another tip, another tip. So we said your time, writing your words, set your word go, find your good place to write. Um, Writing tools. I like Google Docs. I didn't like Google Doc initially because I never tried this, and it's so funny how we can say we don't like something when we never tried it. So I love to just write and change your fonts. Find you a favorite font. If you use Google Docs or any word processor, that will make your writing seem fun. I use what font? I think it's Covert or something I use for my Calvert that I use for my font. It's a script, and I use a 22 font because I want to see, and it looks fun and it fills up my page quick. So that's what I use. There's other programs like Scrivener. I use Scrivener. Scrivener, what I learned that you got to make it work for you. You can't just look at other people's templates and try to make it work. So I would say try it for 30 days. It's free. It has a character Bible. No, a character sketch in there too. It has the court board, which I like. But you got to make it work for you, and it's fun. It's a learning curve. That's Dabble, Dabble, I think it's called. I used that last year's focus writing. It's a web base also, and it's free. And I like that because it's integrated with Nano. Whatever you write for your day, it will update your word count once you connect your Nano account with it. So that was pretty cool. What else did I use? I used Ulysses in the past. It's okay. Out of all these fancy programs, I love Google Docs. You might want to try because it's integratable everywhere. I can access it from either your iPhone or your Android device or any laptop. So I like Google Docs. And it also has a word count, and it also corrects your grammar and the right sentence structure too. So find your tools that you want to use. Either you want to use your computer, laptop. One year I typed on my iPhone. Was it the iPhone or the BlackBerry? No, it was the iPhone. And that was fun because I felt so intimate, and everywhere I went, I was constantly typing. So that was pretty cool. So get your tools, a notepad, a pencil, and paper. I wrote my short story, my children's story, on a printer's paper, and I realized, wow, I handwritten it, and that was fun. I never thought I would like handwriting anything. It would take a longer time, in my opinion, if you write a novel, but it also makes you feel as one, so close and intimate. At least that's the feeling I got. So anyway, that's another tip. So find what you want to use to write your documents on, and always keep copy. Google Docs always saving constantly as you go. So that's why I like that too. I heard horror stories where people wrote like 40 or 50,000 words and they lost their manuscript because they didn't save, and that's awful. So anyway, let's move on to a 20-minute writing session. Okay, that completes our 20-minute writing session. And now we're going into our 7-minute wrap up. So I won't be here this weekend. I will post my schedule for next week up on this channel. So be sure to look out for it. Also, check the community underneath my description. I think it's somewhere in the title where I will have a question asking what is the best time for you as far as evening concern, because I will be doing 2 writing sessions, updated writing sessions for the following week until the end of this month. So let's wrap everything up. Okay, that completes our writing session for today. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Be sure to check out for my schedule for next week. I want you to have a wonderful, safe weekend. Happy writing. See you next week.